Multiband here, producer with the vibe, and today I'm gonna be showing you all how to mix an Afrobeat vocal right here on FL Studio. So let's get right into it. But I'm gonna play the beat with the dry vocals first, and I'm gonna go through a step-by-step process on how I got to mix this vocal. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. I think about it. Your body, badadai. Your body, badadai. Your body make man to lose his control. Fine lady, oh. Hard man, they for your body, oh. See my baby, oh. Come there for my body, body fine, body fresh. Make a man lose control and baby, just give me your love, I die for you.
So that's the dry vocal without the effects. And so what I did first, let me just go to a part of the main vocal and then start it from there. So what I did first, I added auto-tune, because it's Afrobeat. Auto-tune is kind of like a little bit important. So I added auto-tune, selected the key of the beat, which was E minor, then fixed it in, and here is what it sounds like with the auto-tune.
Fine lady, oh. Hard man, they for your body, oh. See my baby, oh.
So it just made sure that every of the vocal was exactly on key. So after that, I added EQ, and I used the Fab Filter Pro Q2, and it was recorded right on this Shure SM58 mic, so I didn't need to do so much of EQing. What I did was I selected a preset here from Fab Filter Pro Q2, which was the vocal preset, and as you can see right here, it did a little bit of cleanup on the low ends to remove all those excessive muddy frequencies, and then boosted some of the high ends a little, and that is what this is what we got from it.
Fine lady, oh. Hard man, they for your body, oh. See my baby, oh.
And as you can see now, it just became smoother, it became cleaner, and no more of those muddy frequencies and some kind of it just gave this feel to it by boosting most of the high end. So after that, I added a de-esser because of a particular point of the song. 1S was actually sharp and just coming out of the whole song. So I added a de-esser. After that, I added a fruity limiter as a compressor, but I reduced the saturation a little, increased the gain a little. Then I did a compression. I did a little bit of compression here and there, the knee, the ratio, and all that. And here is what it sounds like.
Fine lady, oh. Hard man, they for your body, oh. See my baby, oh.
As you can see now, all the vocals are now in the right place, sitting on right very well in the mix. So what I now did, I added the Fab Filter Pro MB, which is a multi-band compressor. I just selected a preset also from vocals, presence and control BM, and here is what it sounds like with it. I'm going to turn off the beat so you actually listen to the changes and you hear it very well.
Fine lady, oh. Bad man, they for your body, oh. See my baby, oh. Girl, come there for my body, oh.
As you can see, it's changed drastically from it being like this.
Fine lady, oh. Bad man dey for your body,
to it being like this after adding the auto tune, the EQ, the de-essing, the compression with the fruity limiter, and then the multiband compression. Here's what it sounds like.
Fine lady, bad man dey for your body, see my baby,
So that's how it sounds like. So after that, I added reverb and delay, but I added the delay first before the reverb. And for the delay, I routed it to mixer channel number 8 thereabout. So I routed it to the 8th channel of the mixer, and then I added fruity delay 3. So what I did was just some delay effect here and there, and here's what it sounds like with the delay effect on.
Fine lady, bad man dey for your body, see my baby,
Just to give it that extra vibe after he stops, and just to give it a little bit of that delayed vibe. Then what I add next, I added reverb. And why I love to send my reverbs, my delays why I love to add them as a send to another channel is because I can actually EQ them and add most crazy effects to them. So I use the fruity reverb too, and what I did was just increase the size, increase the low cuts, increase the high cuts. I turn up the wets to the end because we're applying it as a send. I really don't need the dry. So after that, here's what it sounds like.
Fine lady, bad man dey for your body, see my baby, girl come dey for my body,
Now I'll play with the beat so you listen to how it sounds like and you see the difference.
Fine lady, bad man dey for your body, see my baby, girl come dey for my body,
So we've gotten this and it's sounding good already, but it's not full enough as it should be. So in order to get that full sound that is required from it, because now it's sounding a little bit lagging, it's just light. So I did what is called a parallel compression. And how to do a parallel compression in FL Studio is kind of easy. What I did was I did another routing again. I routed my main vocal to channel 9 and 10. I named channel 9 wet. I named channel 10 dry. And I routed them to channel 9 and 10 only. I did the parallel compression, I think, before I added the reverb and the delay. So I added them to channel 9 only, and then routed them to channel 10 also. Then I created a vocal bus too, which channel 9 and channel 10 are also routed to. So it's going from the vocal to the wet, the dry, to the vocal bus, to the master. I don't know if you get me. I'll explain that again. I routed the main vocal to channel 9 and channel 10, and then I created a vocal bus. I routed them to channel 9 and 10 only, so it leaves the master. You will just click here, then you go to, you see it, the option route to this track only right here. That doesn't mean it will be in this track only. You can still route it to other tracks like you've seen here, But why it said route to this track only is so you can route to other tracks and you will not go directly to the master also. So I created a master bus too, where I'll send the wet and the dry into. So I don't know if you get any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comments section below and I'll answer them. So with the wet, I added a compression. I used the fruity compression, and I have a preset here I saved already as squashed. What I did, I pulled up my threshold almost to the end to about minus 3 dB, 3.9 dB. Pulled up my attack time a little, my release time a little, then my ratio down to 30.0 to 1 thereabouts, then my gain just a little bit, so it sounds squashed, like it's lost its transients, it's squashed already. Then I blended it with the dry. The dry is not carrying any compression on it at all. It's carrying the effects from the vocal itself. Just dry, still has its transients very much in place. So I'm blending these two together to actually give it that full vibe, the full feeling. And here's what it sounds like with the compression, with the parallel compression.
Fine lady, hard man day for your body, see my baby,
Now I'll turn off the instrumental so you actually listen to it very well and then you hear the differences. I'll turn it off first and then I'll turn it back on so you listen to it. This is without it.
Fine lady, bad man day for your body, see my baby, girl come day for my body,
As you can see, as I kept bypassing it, you could see the changes that occurred. It was looking so lifeless before, but with the parallel compression now, it's looking better. I will turn it off again and turn it back on so you know how important the parallel compression is.
Fine lady,
This is without.
bad man day for your body, see my baby,
This is with the parallel compression. So what I did, I blend both the wet and dry together just to actually get that sound for this particular vocal, to actually get it out of it. And here's what it sounds like in context with the
fine lady, hard man day for your body, see my baby,
As you can see, it just cuts right through the mix. So it's full, it's sounding very well. And I have a backup here too. I added just the same effects, but what I did, I used Maximus to just get just the mids from it because I wanted to give it this background effects. Then I used my EQ, used the radio effect here. Then I just did a little bit of change there. Then I also use my Pro MB, which is the multiband compression, the multiband compressor, and then reduce the high end so it's not to reduce the low end so it's not fighting with the main vocal when it comes to width. So here is what it sounds like.
fine lady, bad man day for your body,
So with the beats, here's how it sounds like.
fine lady, hard man day for your body, see my baby, girl come day for my body, body fine, body fresh, make a man lose control and I, baby just give me your love, I die for you. Body fine, body fresh, make a man lose control, I can never use your body to choro.
So as you can see, it sounds full. It's not fighting with the the main vocal, and then the main vocal sounds full. It sounds okay, and it sounds like an Afrobeat vocal. So so after that, what I did again was to multiply the main chorus, because I still wasn't okay with not just the main chorus. I wasn't okay with the vocal itself. I wanted to multiply it to actually still give it this vibe extra. So I added another send, named it multiply, and then added this plugin here called multiply. It's a free plugin. Multiply is the effect. So I increased the dry and the wet to a little to the same level, and here is what it sounds like with the multiply on.
Fine, fine lady, bad man, they for your body, see my baby, can't come there for my body, body fine, body fine, body.
As you can see, it's just added more width to the song, spreaded the song a little around the beats. You would hear that clearly, how it separated the sound, just to give it this width. So I'll play without the instrumental, and I'll keep bypassing it so you listen.
Fine lady, bad man, they for your body, see my baby, can't come there for my body,
So it just added a little more life to the song. So I also have here, I have the rap, and I have another verse of the song by someone for the rap. What I did, I went straight to compression, then EQ, then de-essing to tame those excessive siblings, then Fab Filter, Pro MB. Then I also use this plugin, TDR Nova, just to, it's a dynamic EQ, just to cut out some frequencies that kept jumping off the vocal. Then also reverb, but this is the reverb I used. What I did for them is I just made sure I did some routed to the reverb, but for the rap part of it, I didn't route to the reverb because I gave it its own specific reverb. So what I did was I just added its own reverb. Here is how the reverb is, and then for the other parts, it was taken by someone else. So I did the same set of things but different ways, and then routed it to the reverb, the delay, the wet and the dry, and the multiply to give it. So for the chorus, I was going for this radio effect for the chorus. So what I did, I added auto-tune. I added the same auto-tune. Then I added this a preset from the Pro Q2 because I was going for the phone feel, so I selected the phone presets, and here is how it sounds like. So I also added the de-esser, then also a fruity limiter, the compressor, and Maximus 2, the same with the backup. Just selected the mid-range there, and also the fruity EQ2, parametric EQ, and then I selected the presets for radio to just give it this extra feel, and then the Pro MB multiband compression, and here's how it sounds like. As you can see, it's also routed to the multiply, routed to the wet, routed to the dry, routed to the delay and the reverb, and then everything is being routed to the vocal bus. So all the vocal here I have right here in the vocal bus. So that's how I go about mixing my Afrobeats on FL Studio. Till next time, T-Beat out, producer with the vibe. Thank you so much.